Welcome. Today, we do not speak of morality as poets do, nor of virtue as dreamers imagine it. We speak of power as it truly exists in the world of men. If you seek comfort, leave now. If you seek truth, stay. Men are not good by nature. They are loyal only when it serves them, honest only when honesty is safe, and moral only when morality costs them nothing. A wise ruler does not build his rule on hope, but on understanding this reality. You will hear many say that kindness alone earns respect. They are mistaken. Respect is earned through strength, consistency, and the ability to act decisively when the moment demands it. Mercy, when misused, breeds chaos. Severity, when controlled, creates order. I do not teach cruelty for pleasure, nor deception for vanity. I teach survival. I teach how power is kept when fortune turns against you, and how a leader remains standing while others fall. Judge me not by how the world should be, but by how it is. For those who rule by illusion are destroyed by reality. Those who rule by knowledge endure. Listen carefully. What follows is not advice for the innocent, but instruction for those who wish to command their fate. When a person reveals their fears and insecurities, they surrender power without realizing it. Fear is not merely an emotion, it is information, and information, in the hands of others, becomes a weapon. Men observe carefully. They listen more than they speak. When they learn what frightens you, what unsettles your confidence, or where you doubt yourself, they gain an advantage over you that costs them nothing and costs you greatly. Human nature is such that people rarely attack strength directly. They wait, they probe, and they strike where resistance is weakest. Your insecurities mark those weak points clearly. Once exposed, they shape how others treat you. Some will use them subtly, by planting doubt at the right moment. Others will use them openly, by threatening what you fear losing. In both cases, you are no longer acting freely. You are reacting. A ruler, a leader, or even an ordinary man who wishes to remain independent must understand this truth. Control begins with self-mastery, and self-mastery begins with concealment. This does not mean one must become cold or distant, but one must become selective. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. What you confess today in search of relief may become the very chain that binds you tomorrow. People often believe that vulnerability creates trust. This is only partially true. Among the rare few who are loyal, discretion is safe. But most men are loyal only as long as loyalty benefits them. When circumstances change, yesterday's confidence becomes today's leverage. The world rewards those who appear composed, even when they are not, and punishes those who expose uncertainty. Fear also alters perception. When others know what you fear, they can predict your behavior. Predictability is weakness. If a man knows you fear abandonment, he can threaten distance to control you. If he knows you fear failure, he can rush you into bad decisions. If he knows you fear conflict, he can push boundaries without resistance. In every case, your fear becomes the invisible hand, guiding your actions, while another man holds the strings. The wise individual trains himself to reveal strength publicly and manage weakness privately. He studies his fears in silence, corrects them through discipline, and never allows them to be displayed where they can be exploited. This is not deception for its own sake, but protection against a world that rarely shows mercy to the exposed. Those who rise in power learn early that calmness unsettles opponents. When a man cannot read your anxieties, he hesitates. When he cannot predict your reactions, he proceeds cautiously. Uncertainty weakens those who wish to dominate you. Silence, in this way, becomes a form of authority. To guard your fears is also to guard your dignity. A person who appears unshaken commands respect, even before he speaks. Others adjust their behavior around him. They negotiate differently. They assume strength where none has been disproven. Reputation, once established, does much of the work that force otherwise would. Understand this well. Revealing fears does not remove them. It transfers control of them to others. Keeping them private allows you to confront them on your own terms. Power is not found in pretending to have no fear, but in ensuring that fear answers only to you, and never to those who would use it against you. To reveal your long-term plans is to surrender control before the battle even begins. In the world, Machiavelli observed, power was not lost through weakness alone, but through transparency at the wrong moment. When you speak openly about where you are going, you allow others to walk there before you, prepare obstacles, or quietly benefit from your direction while you bear the risk. Silence, therefore, is not emptiness. It is strategy. Most people believe sharing goals creates motivation or support. In reality, it creates interference. Some will envy you, some will doubt you, and others will smile while secretly hoping you fail. Even well-meaning people can weaken you by offering advice that reshapes your vision into something safer and smaller. Once your plan is known, it no longer belongs fully to you. It becomes a public object, open to judgment, sabotage, and imitation. Machiavelli understood that uncertainty is a form of power. When others cannot predict your next move, they delay action. They miscalculate. A ruler or strategist who keeps intentions hidden forces rivals to react instead of act. This reactionary state puts them at a disadvantage. While you move freely, unburdened by expectations or resistance prepared in advance, there is also the danger of premature celebration. When you announce a future victory too early, you begin to live emotionally in a success you have not yet earned. This weakens discipline. The mind mistakes intention for achievement, and effort loses its sharpness. Silence keeps hunger alive. It keeps focus intact. It reminds you that nothing is real until it is done. Those who know your plans gain leverage over you. They know what you want and what you fear losing. This knowledge can be used subtly through delays, distractions, or emotional manipulation. If someone knows your destination, they can control the roads leading to it. By keeping plans concealed, you deny others the ability to trap you with your own ambitions. Machiavelli also recognized that fortune is unpredictable. Circumstances change, alliances shift, opportunities appear unexpectedly. When your plan is public, changing course makes you appear inconsistent or weak. When your plan is private, adaptation looks like intelligence. Silence gives you flexibility. It allows you to pivot without explanation, to seize moments without appearing desperate or confused. There is wisdom in revealing outcomes instead of intentions. Let people see what you have built, not what you are building. Results command respect far more than promises. A quiet rise is more powerful than a loud announcement. When success arrives, without warning, it feels inevitable, even intimidating. When it is predicted in advance, it feels negotiable. This does not mean isolation or paranoia. It means selective disclosure. A strategist chooses carefully who knows what and when. Information is released only when it can no longer be used against you. Until then, restraint protects momentum. In Machiavelli's view, power is maintained not by honesty in all things, but by wisdom and timing. Long-term plans are seeds. If you expose them too early, they are trampled. If you guard them patiently, they grow beyond the reach of those who would have destroyed them. The third keynote focuses on the danger of revealing your weaknesses and past mistakes, a lesson Machiavelli considered essential for anyone who seeks power, influence, or even simple self-preservation. Human beings, he observed, are constantly watching one another, not to admire strengths, but to locate openings. When people discover a weakness, they rarely respond with compassion for long. Instead, they store that information like a weapon, waiting for the right moment to use it. Machiavelli understood that vulnerability creates imbalance. The person who knows more about you holds an advantage over you. When you openly confess your fears, failures, or regrets, you believe you are building trust, but in reality, you are often surrendering control. Most people do not know how to handle the private truths of others responsibly. Even those who appear kind may later use your weaknesses to elevate themselves, justify betrayal, or dominate you in moments of conflict. From Machiavelli's perspective, admitting mistakes publicly does not purify the soul. It weakens the position. A leader, or anyone who wishes to be respected, must appear stable, capable, and composed. This does not mean one should be perfect, but imperfections must be carefully managed. Once others label you as flawed in a specific way, they will define you by that flaw, regardless of how much you grow beyond it. Reputation, once shaped, is difficult to reshape. He also warned against the illusion that honesty always earns loyalty. When you reveal a past failure, People may comfort you today, but tomorrow they will remember that failure when deciding whether to trust, follow, or challenge you. In political life and social life alike, memories are selective and often cruel. Your mistakes will not be recalled with context or empathy. They will be recalled as evidence. Machiavelli believed wisdom lies in discretion. This means choosing carefully what to reveal and to whom. There is a difference between learning from your mistakes privately and displaying them publicly. Growth does not require exposure. Strength is not proven by confession but by control. When others cannot predict your weaknesses, they hesitate. Uncertainty creates respect, and respect creates safety. Another critical aspect of this keynote is how weakness invites manipulation. If someone knows where you failed before, they know where you might fail again. They can provoke insecurity, reopen old wounds, or push you into defensive behavior. In such moments, you stop acting strategically and start reacting emotionally. Machiavelli viewed emotional reactions as the enemy of power because they shift control from the mind to circumstance. He did not argue that one should live a lie, but that one should live intelligently. Everyone has flaws, but not everyone needs access to them. The wise person becomes unreadable, not cold, but protected. They allow others to see what is useful, not what is exploitable. In essence, the third keynote teaches that your past does not belong to the public, and your weaknesses are not lessons for the crowd. They are tools for your own improvement, not for others to measure you against. Power is not lost by making mistakes. It is lost by allowing those mistakes to define you in the eyes of others. Power is most fragile at the moment it believes it is secure. The fourth principle teaches that revealing how much you value a person, a position, or a possession quietly hands control to others. When people know what you cherish, they also learn where to apply pressure. Affection, dependence, and attachment are not weaknesses by nature, but when exposed, they become tools in the hands of those who understand human ambition. A wise individual never allows emotions to become public leverage. Men often assume that expressing loyalty, admiration, or need will strengthen bonds. In reality, it often weakens them. When another person realizes they are essential to you, the balance of power shifts. They grow careless, demanding, or manipulative. Not always out of malice, but because human nature responds instinctively to advantage. The one who needs less always holds the upper hand. Control is not seized through force alone, but through imbalance. This principle does not argue against relationships or alliances. It warns against dependency. Alliances should be built on mutual benefit, not emotional exposure. When attachment is visible, it invites testing. People will delay, withdraw, or threaten absence to measure your reaction. If your behavior changes, if urgency appears, your value decreases in their eyes. What was once respect turns into expectation, and expectation soon becomes entitlement. Machiavelli understood that rulers who showed excessive love for advisors, generals, or allies were often betrayed or undermined, not because loyalty vanished, but because opportunity appeared. The moment someone knows they are irreplaceable, they begin to act as though rules no longer apply to them. Authority erodes silently, not through rebellion, but through familiarity. The same applies to possessions, ambitions, and goals. When others know exactly what you desire, they can obstruct it, inflate its cost, or trade it against you. Desire exposed becomes a bargaining chip. Silence preserves freedom. Ambiguity protects intent. The less others know about what drives you, the harder it becomes for them to control your decisions. Emotional restraint does not mean coldness. It means discipline. The strongest leaders appear measured, not reactive. They allow others to guess, to wonder, to remain uncertain. Uncertainty breeds caution. When people are unsure how much influence they hold over you, they tread carefully. This caution maintains respect. Those who openly declare devotion believe they are securing loyalty. In truth, they are surrendering leverage. Power rests not in being needed, but in being respected and unpredictable. When affection is balanced with distance, it strengthens authority. When affection overwhelms restraint, it invites exploitation. To value something deeply is human. To reveal that value carelessly is dangerous. Mastery lies in protecting what matters most by never allowing it to become a weapon against you. To reveal one's fears and insecurities is to surrender power before a battle even begins. Men rarely attack where you are strong. They wait patiently for signs of weakness. When you confess what unsettles you, whether it is rejection, loss, failure, or loneliness, you teach others how to command you without force. They learn how to shape their words, their silence, and their actions to bend your will. A ruler, or any individual who wishes to preserve authority over their own life, must understand that vulnerability is not rewarded in the real world as generously as philosophers claim. Compassion exists, but it is unreliable and often temporary. You avoid necessary risks, compromise prematurely, and seek approval where dominance is required. Those around you sense this hesitation and adapt, slowly reversing the balance of control. A leader who feels fear internally yet displays composure externally remains unpredictable, and unpredictability is a form of protection. Silence about your insecurities forces others to guess, and in guessing, that hesitation is advantage. When people do not know what threatens you, they cannot intimidate you. Long-term plans lose their power the moment they are spoken to freely. A plan is not merely a vision of the future. It is a sequence of vulnerable moments strung together by intention. People react not to your success, but to the threat of it. A declared ambition becomes a challenge to those who fear losing status, relevance, or control. Silence, on the other hand, allows movement without resistance. This binds you to paths that no longer serve you. Power demands freedom of movement, not loyalty to outdated declarations. The wise individual advances quietly, letting results announce intention only when reversal is impossible. In this way, success appears sudden, though it was carefully prepared. Those who speak early gain applause but lose advantage. Weaknesses and past mistakes are valuable lessons, but dangerous confessions. To expose them publicly is to hand weapons to those who may one day oppose you. Men do not forget what diminishes your image. They store it patiently. Even forgiveness remembers. Machiavelli observed that reputation is the foundation of authority, and once cracked, it invites challenge. When people know where you failed, they doubt where you lead. When they know what broke you before, they test whether it can break you again. Honesty is praised in moral teachings, but in the arena of power, perception outweighs truth. A leader may improve internally, but the memory of weakness lingers externally. This memory shapes how others treat you, obey you, or defy you. Confession may bring temporary relief, but it trades long-term leverage for short-term comfort. Silence allows reinvention. Men judge by what they see, not by what you claim to have overcome. If your growth is real, let it be proven through consistency and results, not stories of past failure. Affection, loyalty, and attachment are powerful forces, but when visible, they become leverage. Machiavelli warns that dependence creates vulnerability. The one who cares less controls the direction of the relationship. This applies not only to love, but to approval, status, and belonging. The more openly you display need, the more power you relinquish. True strength lies in appearing self-sufficient, even when cooperation matters deeply. This does not require coldness, but restraint. Emotion must be governed, not eliminated. A ruler who appears desperate for loyalty invites betrayal, because loyalty offered freely is worth less than loyalty demanded by respect. When people sense that your happiness depends on them, they subconsciously test boundaries. Detachment restores balance. By valuing quietly rather than loudly, you preserve choice. Others must earn access to what matters to you, and in earning it, they respect it more. What is guarded is valued. What is freely given is taken for granted. A backup plan is a silent source of strength, but once revealed, it loses its power. An escape route known to others is no longer an escape, but a predictable move. Machiavelli believed that uncertainty keeps adversaries cautious. When people know you have an alternative, they plan around it. They block it, exploit it, or push you toward it prematurely. The existence of a fallback should give you confidence, not invite interference. When your options are hidden, your decisions appear bold and final. This compels others to take you seriously. A visible exit makes your commitment questionable. The more options you have that others do not see, the greater your freedom of action. True control is not having many paths, but ensuring only you know where they lead. It belongs to those who understand men as they are, not as they pretend to be. The lessons you have heard are not commands to deceive blindly, but warnings against naivety. He chooses silence over confession, control over impulse, and foresight over comfort. Strength is not always loud, and dominance is not always visible. Often, the most powerful position is the one least understood by others. Do not mistake restraint for weakness or discretion for dishonesty. These are shields, not sins. Those who reveal everything believe transparency earns trust, yet history proves it often invites betrayal. Trust must be measured, not assumed, and loyalty must be tested by circumstance, not words. Remember this above all. Fortune favors the prepared mind. When you govern your emotions, guard your intentions, and reveal only what serves your purpose, you reduce the power others have over you. You become difficult to predict, difficult to manipulate, and therefore difficult to defeat. Let others act on impulse, declare their plans, and wear their hearts openly. You will observe, calculate, and move only when the moment is right. In doing so, you do not lose your humanity. You preserve your autonomy. This is not a path for the reckless or the virtuous dreamer. It is the path of those who wish to endure, to lead, and to remain standing when circumstances change. Those who understand this do not fear the world. They master their place within it.